All right, the time is now 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this Board of Selectmen meeting for July 13th at 7 p.m. and ask that you please rise for the, oh boy, did I get it up there? Maybe not.
Use Tom's.
I know where it is. There we go. All right. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
One
to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
All right. This time we'll take roll call.
Art Cagney.
Kevin Cunningham. Kathy, I see you. I'm just trying to unmute you for a second.
Okay.
Yep, that's better. All right, so we're all here. Item C, which is to approve the minutes from June 30th, 2020. Got a chance to read through.
I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes for June 30th, 2020.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Item D, public comment. Hearing none, we can go to item E, new business. Consider an act on a tax refund request by tax collector as follows. Dean Milligan for $38.24.
I'll make a motion to act on a tax refund to Dean Milligan for $38.24.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 2, consider an act on adding a new member to the Conservation Commission. You'll see in your packet. We have been asked by Matt. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the last name. And I could, yes, well, I'm going to mess it up. I know who I am. So Matt Y, how about that? Matt Y has given you a background, his background of what he has done professionally, being an engineer in multiple states and a lot of land development design. So it works very well for the Conservation Commission opening that we currently have. Matt has put forth the intention to join on to this commission. So if you've read through the packet, if you have any questions, I'll try to do the best I can with answering.
I just had a comment. I was glad that you asked for a little more information from him.
Yeah, a little background, a little more. Yep.
That was good. So I'll make a motion to add Matt Yunuskowitz to the Conservation Commission.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 I do have a couple of items I'd like to add on to the agenda, and I apologize for the lateness on a couple of these. I would like to entertain a motion to discuss and set forth annual town meeting via Zoom as item number 3.
I'll make a motion to add that as item number 3.
Thank you. Motion, and
I'll second that.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The fourth item is a last minute. I want to make sure we got all the numbers correct, but it would be to, item 4 would be to discuss and take action on an additional line item transfer to complete the 2019-20 line item transfers. Anybody like to motion that on?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
And any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 And the last one is an item 5, which is to discuss and act on voting for the first selectman to engage in an addendum to the Plainfield solar roof project.
I'll make a motion to add that. Add item 5.
Okay. Motion to item 5.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Again, I apologize for some of these. They're very late because we've been still talking about them. Number 3 is my fault. I should have had that on the agenda. It's to discuss and set the annual town meeting because according to our town charter, section 2.3, on section 2.3 of the town charter, it talks about the annual town meeting that normally is held third Monday in November, and it's now being requested as the annual town audit has been completed. We're looking to get a date out there and talking with the Board of Finance, making sure our dates are available. I'd like to be able to do this as a Zoom meeting because we're still under the issues, unfortunately, with COVID, and having a public and open meeting would be probably difficult. So I think it might be better to keep it as a Zoom meeting on Wednesday, July 29th. It took a while, unfortunately, for the audit to occur. We kept on getting more and more delays, but finally it's completed. Kelly and Tom can attest to the fact that how long it took. And the other thing was basically once the extensions were complete and our auditor was finally done, he put together a package and he showed it to the Board of Finance. They have looked at it and approved. So now that we have that, we can actually create and finalize an annual town meeting. And we can have the, make the date for the 29th and have the Board of Finance and finalize it for us. But it's really the Board of Finance's project to bring that forth to the public. But at least if we set the date, it helps to start the whole process.
Need a motion for that?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we set the annual town meeting date for July 29th, 2020. And will that be at 7 o'clock?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. via Zoom.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Thank you. On item number 4, to discuss and take action on additional line item transfer to complete the 2019-20 line item transfers. That is one item that engineering actually ran over, and we get the bills in a little later, so we wanted to make sure we touch base with everybody to have them understand. They were doing a lot of projects toward the end of the year, and the bills just came in late. So we wanted to put that in front of the Board of Finance so they understood exactly what it was. You'll see what it is a request. We need to take an action to request an additional line item transfer of $14,005 from section 10613640. And that is actually, what was that? It was that, so Kelly, what was that? That was our insurance for that line item?
Social Security. Yeah, Social Security tax.
Social Security.
It's Social Security tax.
Thank
Yep.
you. And we bring that over to engineering, which
You're welcome.
108061-42. And we bring that in front of the Board of Finance. So the motion would be to approve the line item transfer request for $14,005 from Social Security over to engineering to cover late overruns and bring that to the Board of Finance.
Make that motion.
I'll second that.
And any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Thank you. And then the last one is item number 5, which is to discuss and act on voting for the first selectman to engage in an addendum to Plainfield Solar Roof Project. You'll see how late this was when we were discussing it because I sent you the emails from that company to talk about what we need to do here. The issue is multiple layers here. The issue really is they, meaning this particular company for the solar corporation, they needed to come forward with a plan to go over and put the solar panels up on top of the high school roof. So the issue was when they went up to take a look at the high school roof, what they found was Forefront found that the condition of that particular flat roof was unacceptable to put something up on top of it. That brings us to kind of an issue of what do we do? There are a couple of options, and one of the options would have been to have the Board of Selectmen, look at how much it would cost roughly to go up there and put a new roof on, or an overlay section on there, whichever might be appropriate. The other part of that would be then you have the Board of Selectmen voting to bring it to the Board of Finance. The Board of Finance would review the same thing. Meeting. the town meeting is required because of the charter. Um, the idea here is that then it would go to a public vote, and we go from there. So this particular company is looking to support, because what they're doing is actually putting up the solar panels up on the roof and looking at a way to make it so that it is cost effective and that we can still have some money savings from those solar panels on the high school. If you'll notice in your packet, there's a couple of paragraphs talking about the whole project itself. This is where they wanted to step to the plate, and they were the ones who were looking to put up the silicone coating. Normally, silicone coating would cost about $200,000. They wanted to do it. And then they would turn over the warranty to the town. And at that point, continue on with actually, it takes a day to settle. They would then go up there and put up on the roof the solar panels and continue on with the project. So I know it's a lot to digest, and there's some numbers in front of you, but the idea was that to be able to vote for me to continue on with negotiation for an addendum for the roof project, so that we are doing the right thing by, is it the right thing by putting up the silicone coating? Is it the right thing to do by cost and how much it's going to be taking? And by the way, the downside is they're going to put a $200,000 roof up on top of there. They're just changing the numbers of what we would be getting for savings on the high school alone. And if you look at the whole savings in the high school, they talked about the town currently is paying about, and Kelly and I looked at the numbers earlier tonight, 0.11 kilowatt hours is what we're paying currently. And we do have a copy of the bill to show that that's what they're paying. And they're still within reason of doing 0.0868 for their new rate. And it still saves a little bit of money towards the whole project on a 20-year contract. So that's what we're at right now. So that we'd get a silicone overlay. They'd be able to stop some of those leaks that they've been having for a few years, and move forward with putting on the continuation of the final piece to that project for the solar panels. So I wanted to get your feedback on that, what you thought. And I apologize again, we just started talking about this late last week, and then they came up with some actual numbers and how they can put it all together. And I did I'm trying to keep everybody in the loop. I talked to Tom earlier, late last week about it, and again today. We talked a little further about it. I also talked to Ken about it. His concern is the number, but we actually, I believe we proved out the number to be what they're currently paying, because we got a copy of the bill, and we see the copy of the bill shows that it's right at currently paying 0.11, and so that's what that's why the adjustment still works number wise. So is there any thought on the whole project, or what the request might be?
I have a question about who would be doing the work. Would it be the solar company, or are they going to sub it out?
They're going to sub it out.
Right?
So Kevin, I guess my question would be, why didn't they bring that forth in the beginning when they said that the school was okay to have the solar put on, when they did their walkthrough? And
100% agree. I have no idea. I think Ken and I were talking earlier today, and there were a lot of questions about the particular company, Forefront, about how they processed this whole plan to put it together, and how they now all of a sudden they see that there's an issue with the roof. I'm not sure if they saw that a year ago, a year and a half ago, whatever it might have been, when they walked through the first time through. I don't know.
because my concern is now, Kevin, is because they lost money on the project because they're the ones that didn't follow through, that now they're trying to make that money up, and that concerns me.
Is this the same roof that's been leaking for a while, since before last year, before we contracted with them?
Section of it.
Is that the same roof in question?
That's the same flat section, yes.
And Kyle Collins went through this with them, and nobody discussed this with them? I guess, Kathy, you would know better.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it, Art. That's why it concerns me.
Oh, you didn't know the roof was leaking last year?
No,
Oh, God, I did. Just being a citizen, I knew the roof was leaking. You could just go in the library, you knew the roof was leaking, so I don't know if that's the roof we're talking about. But anyway, I'm glad to see that at least some of the savings will be going towards something we need. I'm looking at it that way. The roof has to be done either way in order to put the solar panels there.
Mhm.
Correct?
Yeah, they won't be able to put them up, they say, unless a roof is either replaced totally or a membrane's put over the top.
Right. So then we're not going to get the savings for not having the solar there. So,
Not the full amount, less than what we thought we were going to get.
right.
I think there's still some more answers, a lot of questions we have to pose to them.
But either way, whether they put the solar panels there or not, and we lose the savings from not having solar panels there, we still need a new roof. Correct? So the savings from having the solar panels there is going to pay for a new roof. I mean, that's, at least we're getting something out of the savings. Just my thoughts.
I think there needs to be more research done before a decision is made.
I think the motion that was proposed would be just to allow me to be able to act on voting as an engagement for the addendum. If the questions that come forward don't meet what we're looking for, I don't have to do an addendum. It just means that I have an opportunity to do that.
Kevin, just a suggestion. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. All right. So obviously this isn't going to be happening tomorrow as far as replacing the roofs. You still got a little bit of time. I know the Board of Ed has a meeting coming up because they're one of their big items right now is having to finalize their plans for reopening. But you think that it's probably a good idea to give them an opportunity maybe to put this on their agenda for this update? Because I know for a fact, having been at the Board of Ed meeting last week, this was mentioned as like a possibility of something we're going to have to look into, but a lot has happened since the Board of Ed meeting last week. And so I think it would be important to update the Board of Ed as far as where the whole thing stands, but doing that prior to making any big decisions as far as the next step.
I already spoke to Ken about that, and I believe he will be putting it on the agenda for discussion.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we let the first selectman engage in a contract negotiation with solar company Forefront.
Just an addendum.
Okay, addendum.
Motion made. I
don't agree, Kevin. So right now, I just think there's more questions that need to be asked and some more research.
This would allow him to ask the questions and do the research, wouldn't it?
Well, he can ask those questions without the addendum.
So do you want to table it, Kathy, until the next meeting, until he meets with the Board of Ed?
I just think there's more questions that need to be asked. I just don't feel comfortable with it right now. So yes, we can make a motion to table it.
First of all, we have a motion on the floor by Art. If we don't have a second, we can let it die.
I'm not going to second it.
So at this point, that motion is dead. We have another motion on the floor.
I'll make a motion to table it until further information in the Board of Ed meeting.
Have a motion?
Can we find a date for that? When's the Board of Ed meeting?
This Wednesday.
Okay, so our next Board of Selectmen meeting?
Well, we can have a special one if it comes down to it, just for this.
Okay. So it's being tabled till our next Board of Selectmen meeting. Correct?
That would be appropriate. Table to next, is that all right with you, Kathy? Table to next Board of Selectmen meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'll second that.
Motion by Kathy to table to the next Board of Selectmen, second by Art. Any other discussion? Other than I would just ask each of you to do me a favor by way of sending the questions over to myself, and that way we can kind of funnel all of that so I can immediately start working with the forefront to get those answers for you. And this is probably
Okay.
happen pretty quickly on, as things go here. There's a timeline for when that roof membrane can be put up, only because they want to get the energy credits and all of that follows along with it. So it's a timely issue. I think that's why the Board of Finance would like to have it as a discussion item on Wednesday, but just wanted to put that out there. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, those were the items that were added on to. Other in correspondence, I did want to mention one thing that was the ever-changing world of COVID and how we're trying to deal with it here at the town hall. We were working with a local company to do the tempered glass. They've installed the brackets today. Tomorrow they'll be putting the tempered glass in. So I anticipate I will be putting out a memo to internally to the employees and also something to the public, and posting it up on the website to say that the town hall will be open as of the 15th. There are some guidelines to go by so people understand what it means. You can actually have the town hall open, but we're just asking you to just follow your normal protocol for COVID-19. If you're not feeling well, please don't come in. We're strongly suggesting that you wear a mask, or sanitizer throughout the building. And then the other things would be, one little caveat would be in the town clerk's office. They're going to make an appointment schedule for you if you are coming in to utilize going into the vault. So usually you have people doing checking the recordings, looking for transactions available so they can do a final sale for a property, things like that. All they're doing is we'd like to ask that you call up for an appointment so you can get in. We don't want to have it flooded, and we know that's everybody's been waiting to get in there. So if you do the appointment schedule, it should work out fine. It's going to be very busy for the first couple of days. I do want to say thank you very much to the tax office. The tax collector has actually set it up so that when you come to the town hall right now, most of the things you can do online anyway. We have a drop box outside, but she's been setting up a table at the side of the building. And as people come up, they can pay their taxes. They can fill out the form for the transfer station. It's worked out very, very well. So it was a difficult thing to do, but she did a great job of coming forward and doing that. So that's been going on, and I think those are the big things happening. Unless anybody else has any other discussion item or questions. Hearing none, all in favor of adjournment? I'm sorry, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. Oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. And as soon as I get the other information, please send me the concerns, requests, questions, and I can talk to Forefront immediately. I'm hoping tomorrow morning I actually have a conference with them and and Ken DePietro, so we can actually talk about what the issues are.
Thank you.
Thank you all and have a good night.
All right.